Oh, I stuck him.
Crouch, she's pushing.
Why? Oh, it's only you left.
I'm better.
Nice.
Just better than these kids.
What's going on YouTube? I'm Monkey here, the gaming channel all about gaming and improving, and in this video I will be going over everything you need to know as a solo player to get you out of Diamond and into Masters. But before we get into it, if you like Apex Legends content, whether it's tips and tricks or entertainment, you should hit that like button, subscribe with the notification bell turned on so you don't miss any of my videos, because I try to upload videos once or twice a week and it really supports this channel. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for being here and joining the troop. I have big plans to come for you guys, including massive giveaways, subscriber nights where I play with all of you because I know you all want to get some games in, so that'll be fun. And I have many more ideas I want to do, but I need to make sure it's okay to do on YouTube and Twitch before just hopping in and doing these things that I haven't seen anyone else do yet. Now, for the ones that don't know, Respawn tightened up skill-based matchmaking in rank to where now you'll be in lobbies of your rank level. That means no matter where you are in Diamond, you'll only be facing Diamond players unless they are playing with a friend that's in Platinum. Before this season, I made a video talking about the difference between D4 and D3, but now there is no difference. You're only facing Diamond players. So one little tip you could do is grind halfway through Diamond 3, wait until the last week before the end of the split, and grind rank to Masters. I say this because there are still some previous Masters and Preds that are in Diamond right now in the making of this video, and by the time the last week of rank hits, all the Plat players that just hit Diamond would be in your lobbies and the Masters and Preds would be in theirs, which means in theory the lobbies will be easier closer to the end of the split. But that was just a bonus tip. Let's get on to the main tips. Tip number 1, team composition. If your first pick, always try to pick either Bloodhound or any kind of recon legend. If you're second or third, pick Horizon or Caustic for mobility or defensive. When it comes to team compositions, it's kind of hard to do so on solo because you kind of have to rely on what your team's going to pick and you don't really know what they are going to pick. So if you're first, it's always best to try to pick a recon legend, and that will lead into my other tips that I'm going to be talking about. But the best one would be Bloodhound in my opinion for Kings Canyon anyways, and he's just up there, S tier. We all know he's crazy good, especially on Kings Canyon, so I would go for Bloodhound. Now if you're not and you're second or third and say like the first random pick Bloodhound, okay, well now you already got a tracker legend, a recon legend that can hit these survey beacons, so you want to use a mobility or a defensive legend. So as a second, me personally, I would pick Horizon because my play style is aggressive and I love the mobility characters more than I like the defensive, but you might like the defensive characters more than mobility, so I'd choose Caustic if I was you, or Gibby, but mainly Caustic because Gibby is really good for a team that is able to communicate well together and use all of their abilities pretty much together as a team and being able to talk, and that's kind of hard to do if your team's in a party. So I would probably choose Caustic. But let's say you're third and one dude picked Bloodhound, one dude picked Caustic, then I would go ahead and choose that mobility character, which is Horizon. Alright, so tip number 2, land on a survey beacon. And that tied in with why I said team composition in tip number 1, you want to pick Bloodhound or at least have a recon legend on your team. Because if you're on tip number 2, landing on a survey beacon is crucial early game. So if you land on a survey beacon early game, you can already know where the next ring is going to be. Tip number 3, only fight early on drop and late game. Now this tip number 3 ties in with tip number 2 with the survey beacons, because what you can do is as soon as you figure out where the next zone is, you can go ahead and either rotate to that Or if you hear gunshots going next door, you can go ahead, run over there with your team, third party that, loot that, get those 1 to 3 KP that you need, and then rotate to the zone as soon as you can, because positioning is everything. Now, the only exception I can say to fighting mid game, which I've done before and got wins from, is if someone has a good position that is necessary to take from them. And if you know where all the other people are, which is also another tip I want to give you guys, watch where people drop. Because if you're on the south side and a lot of people dropped on the north side of the map, then you can go ahead and take a fight that has good positioning for you and your team, get them out of the way, and then hold that down until late game. Tip number 4, weapon combo. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys like the combos you should be using in rank. R301 Mastiff, Hemlock, R99 or Volt, and Triple Take, R99 or Volt. I want to say R301, Hemlock, and Triple Take are all really good for mid to long range. And the close range weapons you should be using is Mastiff, R99, or Volt. Tip number 5, communication. I know it's hard to communicate with your team when you're solo, especially when those two are in parties, but it's so important to try to communicate with them, and thankfully Respawn has that ping system because it does come in handy. It can also be annoying when your teammates go down and they spam the crap out of it, but for the most part it does have a lot of good things too. Stick with the team though. You want to try to stick with your team. If they're in a party, they're most likely talking to each other. They're having 2 brains against your 1, and sometimes it feels like your 1 brain's better than those 2 brains because you're making better decisions and have better awareness. But for the most part, you want to try to stick with your team. Now, if they make a bad call that will throw the game, don't follow them. I mean, use your brain when it comes to this situation. If they go in and they try to fight a whole team that literally stopped fighting the team that they were fighting, and both teams started focusing on your team, you just need to get out of there, especially if one of your teammates go down and they didn't do anything to the other team to like knock anyone. You just need to run, because RP is extremely important and you don't want to lose the game over something that your teammates did. So try to make the decision correctly. And now if one of your teammates were fighting just one team and they knocked someone, then it's probably best for you to run over there and help your team out, because if you don't, that could be the reason why your team goes down and then you're by yourself ratting it out. One of these examples that I can give you is my team was fighting a team at Market, and they had high ground on top of the building and we were low ground, and they were just putting in damage with us. There was a team next door to us at Salvage, and they were already on that zip line rotating towards us. I seen that it was bad because they were going to third party us. We were going to get sandwiched, so I started pinging us to get out of there. I ran out of there. One of my teammates got out of party chat just to argue and yell at me saying, why did we run? We could have taken them. I hit one of them for 150. We had this, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, dude, another team was pulling up on us, and I couldn't understand or hear any of what you guys were saying because you were in a party. Comes back to communication. And he went back in the party chat and didn't talk to me, so that's how that was. Now, last tip, record and watch your gameplay. This is so important. I've been talking about this for the longest time. It is so crucial to sit back and watch your gameplay. Sometimes it's best to spend hours on doing this, probably more than playing the game, depending on how important it is to you to get better at Apex Legends. Because by watching your gameplay, you will learn from your mistakes. Don't always sit there and point fingers at your teammates or at the game itself on why you're not doing well at the game. The best thing that you can do is learn from your mistakes, watch what you're doing wrong, and then improve and go from there. Now, this is it for my tips for solo queuing in Diamond. Be sure to like this video if you got something out of it or just liked it overall. Feel free to watch the rest of this video to see how I got these wins in Diamond. If you follow these tips I've given you, in time you will make it through Diamond as a solo player. To me, your skill is tested at best when it comes to how you handle fights late game. And in these gameplays, you'll see exactly how I do that. I hope you enjoy. Hold up.
112 on Wraith, she's low. Got her. Yeah, one's closer. We can team shoot this kid. 100 on horizon. 114. I knocked one. Yeah, they're gonna go for the res. Careful, crowbar. That's the last squad right there. Knocked one. One left. Nice.
You are the Apex champions.
That was teamwork. Good shit.
Hostile